shall we hop in? Because we're getting into something that is huge. I mean, we're always getting to some stuff that's like, I guess, technically major in certain ways, but for this is something that just recently got updated.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. So in today's video, what we're going to be going over is a new enhanced input action mapping system inside of Unreal Engine 5.1 and beyond. So as you may have noticed, if you've updated Unreal Engine 5.1, the normal action mappings and axis mappings and all that are now deprecated, and they've been replaced with a new enhanced input action system. Now this can be a little bit confusing just to wrap your head around, but once you do understand it, you'll notice this is actually very, very powerful and a lot better than the old system, which is why we're going to be going over how to use it today. Now today I'm just going to be creating a very basic system of creating a flashlight using this. Now all I'm doing is turning a light on and off just to show you how these action mappings work. So if I just hit play, we can see that by holding F, I'm going to turn it on,
right.
Releasing F, I'm going to let go, I'm going to turn it off again, sorry. Yet, technically. Just turn it on and off like this. So this is what we're going to be going over and creating today. So without further ado, let me do this code and I'll show you how I've done it. So what we're going to do first is I'm
pretty sure I can think of how to do that, but you know, it's still nice to go through the basic stuff.
Show you.
And well, this is involving something new, but like, it's also adding something we still haven't technically actually done yet.
The old version versus the new version. So if you go to Edit, Project Settings,
yes,
go down
sir.
to Input, this is obviously where it used to be. So we have our action mappings and axis mappings. You can still add these, and I believe they do probably still work.
They do.
But obviously, they're not the good versions to use anymore.
Which,
so you'll
thank God,
notice here it says axes and action mappings are now deprecated. Please use enhanced input actions and input mapping context instead. Now in the engine, we also now have enhanced input here. This isn't what we're going to be using, however, you'll notice we have all these different, we have all the different
I haven't seen this
here,
before.
But this isn't where we do it. We don't do it in the project settings anymore. So we're going to close that. I just wanted to show you that quick thing. What we're going to do is open up our content browser.
Yeah.
I've created a new folder called input, so I'm just going to put it in here.
Okay. Let me do that. Score assets. And score inputs. Boom. Okay.
And we're going to right click, go to input in here, so we have input, and we're going to create an input action. So I'm going to name this IA for input action, then underscore flashlight. As this is what I would name my action mapping, I would just call it flashlight. So I'm putting IA for input action, then flashlight.
I've seen this file before, right? Because the icon. Yeah, thank God the icons. It's actually such a big thing. That's such a cool icon for this too. I like it.
Then we're going to open it up straight away.
It reminds me of Little Big Planet.
Now this may look fairly similar to before.
I missed that game.
So before, when you created an action mapping and got it inside of your event graph and your blueprint, if you select it, you may get something that looks like this come up on the right hand side. So consume input, we can obviously see if it consumes the input, so nothing else will work with this. Or if we want it to trigger and pause, resolve mappings, all this great stuff, we do that inside of this blueprint instead. We can also change the value type, so it's a boolean, float, vector 2D, or vector. I'm just going to leave it as a digital bool for the moment for this one, and I don't need to worry about it. And the triggers and modifiers I'm also not going to add on here. Obviously you can add one and see what these are, so you've got chorded action, combo, down, hold and release. And if you hover over these, you get all these different descriptions of what they do as well. So hold and release, trigger fires when input is released after having been actuated for at least hold time threshold seconds. So basically what all of this means is before, if we wanted to do custom things with our input actions, we had to do it ourselves. So if we wanted something to happen when holding it down, we'd have to set that up ourselves using delays and loops and all that stuff. But now we can just do it with hold. This basically means it's going to be able to do it for us, so we don't need to do everything ourselves, which is why it's a much better system.
Okay, that sounds like a god system. I don't know how to use this, but that sounds like something I want to use. Hello.
And the same with modifiers. You can click on it, hover over these to see them all again, like this.
Dead zone, FOV scaling.
This is just all going to be fine.
Hold up, excuse me. I'm sorry, pause you, but like response curve, scalar, scale by delta time, smooth inputs over multiple frames. Ooh, to world space, interesting. Delete.
Fine by default.
Uh-oh.
Then we're going to save that and close it.
Okay.
The next thing we want to do is go back to our content browser, right click, go back to input, and create an input mapping context. So we've created our input action, now we need our input mapping.
Now this reminds me of Halo.
To that input. So we're going to create
or
that.
like Xbox Live
and I'm
Connect.
just going to name this My Game Input Mapping, or IM, and then the name of your game, or whatever it is that you want to do.
Underscore.
And we're going to open it up straight away. Now this...
Wait, what did he name this? Input mapping. So IM. Oh no, my game. Wait, what? My game underscore input mapping. So this. Okay, so he's not putting IM. So it'd be input mapping underscore my game. I like that. I like that stuff. At least like, blueprints. You know, B blueprint. If it's a blueprint, W, or a widget blueprint, W. You know, like just having something like that. I like that a lot, especially in the beginning. Which I used to have it at the end, but having this stuff in the beginning helps so much.
This should also look fairly familiar, because this should now just look like your edit project settings input that we had before.
Yeah, I see this.
So if it's a press add action mapping, again, this is where it looks similar.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you can choose what it's going to be. So instead of naming it here, you choose your input action. So we've got flashlight, and then you just choose the key you want. Or I can press this here, and then press F, as I want it to be on the F key.
Whoa, okay.
And you can again do triggers and modifiers in here. Is player mappable? So if true, then this action key mapping will be exposed as a player mappable key, basically meaning the player can change it, so the player can map it. And obviously if you tick that, then you have access to the options for it. But I'm not going to be going over that in this video. However, I will probably make a video on that in the future. It's just obviously something more advanced, so we don't need to do it in this video right now. But again, that's all we need to do. So we've got our input action, and we've got the key we're going to use to fire off that input action. So we're going to save this and close it. And I should say all of this is also the same if you're doing axes mappings. You'd obviously just, if I were to open the input action here, instead of the value type being digital, you'd use axes 1D float. So then you can also use 1 and -1 to go forwards and backwards like we used to before. But again, today's video I'm just doing a flashlight with an action mapping, not an axes mapping. But it's very, very similar. So we're going to close those, and now we're going to open up our player blueprints to actually use this action mapping.
Okay.
So obviously it doesn't have to be your player blueprint, but that's where it's going to be for me, as it's a flashlight. So in here, you might have noticed this is a little bit different as well, as obviously they're now using the new enhanced system. So what they're doing for the camera input is, you can see here, this is what they're going to look like, but we're going to go over it more soon. So you've got left, right, up, down, and you'll notice all of this just looks a lot cleaner and a lot more efficient, and it's just better connected, and it runs a lot better. And obviously we have more options and control over it all as well. So on event begin play, what they're doing is they're adding the input mapping. So they're casting to the player controller to get the correct player controller, then getting that enhanced input local player subsystem, and then they're adding the mapping context to that. So essentially what we're doing is just apping the mapping context to the player controller's enhanced input subsystem. And the enhanced input subsystem is again a part of this new enhanced input mappings that we need to be able to use. Now you'll notice again they've already added one on here. However, you can have multiple mapping contexts for one local subsystem. So I'm going to be doing that as well just to show you. So I have to come out of the enhanced input local player subsystem, or what I'm going to do is just come out of this root node. I can then do add mapping context once again, like they've got. I'm just going to connect that into the end here, so it's going to be fired off of event begin play as well when the rest of this code is doing it. If you don't add in the mapping context, you're obviously not going to be able to use your input actions. It's just not going to work. It won't fire off, as you haven't specified the player can actually use those input actions. The mapping context is obviously going to be the one we just created, which I named My Game Input Mapping. Obviously, IMC default is the one they are using, so you may want to just use that one as well.
They're using it there.
Like so. So we're going to select that, we'll compile and save that. And now what we can do is, if we find some empty space, we can right click and search for our input action. So I need mine IA flashlight. You'll notice we now have the IA flashlight under the enhanced
That's
action
right,
events. Now again, you'll notice we've got lots of different...
But it is calling for it. There it is, flashlight there. Awesome. So there, so there, ooh, there's the triggered and all this stuff.
Different values on here, it just makes it a lot more efficient. So I'm going to be going over what these are. So started is essentially pressed, and completed is essentially released. So those are the main two you're going to need. Started and completed are pressed and released. So if I were to just get a print string on these, we've got pressed, and then if I were to do that on completed as well, we'll get released. And this is also how I found out what they will do. I just put print strings on, press the button, see what they all did and when. So I then press F, you got pressed, released, like so. Working perfectly like this. So if I just hold it down, press, let go, released.
I see.
So
is
those
he
are
just
the
doing
main two
yeah.
we're going to
Okay.
need. Triggered is essentially going to be firing off when you're holding it down. So if I were to get print string here and get hold,
when I'm holding
held,
it down, okay.
what we're going to do, hold it down, it's going to be saying hold like so. That's just going to be firing off throughout the duration that we are holding down the button, which again is a much better way of doing hold down input actions instead of how we used to be able to do it before. Now ongoing and cancelled offer something different. If you hover over it, it says triggering is still being processed and triggering has been cancelled. So this, I believe, is for when you add in different triggers and modifiers in the actual input action itself. That's what these are going to be used for. And obviously the elapsed seconds, triggered settings, and input action, obviously pretty self-explanatory as well. Again, if you hover over all of these, you get more details too. But we're just going to be creating a basic flashlight, like I say, so we're going to need pressed and released, or I should now say, we're going to need started and completed. What I'm going to do first is just go to my viewport and obviously add in a quick spotlight. So we actually have a quick flashlight here, putting the intensity all the way up, just so we can...
Oh, an actual spotlight. Yo, this seems simple. Hold up. Well... Okay.
We can see it in this bright level. If I were to drag this in, what we're going to do is add this set visibility, putting that into started. So when we hold it down, it's going to be new visibility.
So go here, set biz. Oh, I want to do triggered, but no, it's on started.
And then off of
completed,
completed,
new visibility.
We're going to set visibility again. Off of completed, like I say, setting it to false. So when we then let go, we're going to be setting it back to false.
And completed. No, okay.
So turning the light off. So when we press it, we're turning on. When we release it, we're turning it off. Now obviously, if you want to do a flip-flop, so you toggle it on and off, you just get a flip-flop out of started, so out of pressed. So again, it's very, very, very similar to...
Wait, what did you say there?
How we flip-flop out of started. Now obviously, if you want to do a flip-flop, so you toggle it on and off, you just get a flip-flop out of started.
So that would be a door, because we've learned how to do a door before, and we used a flip-flop for that. So, instead of on completed... But we could do the same thing, though. Well, actually, no. Because on completed, it would open the door and close it automatically. So it would open and close. So how to change that is to put a flip-flop here. And then put the timeline and then move rotation. Or mesh rotation or something rotation.
So out of pressed. So again, it's very, very, very similar to how we used to do it before. It's just some of the names have changed and we've just got more details and more control over it as well. Kind of similar to how they changed up the animation retargeting system. It's very similar. We just now have more control over it and we can do a lot more stuff. It's a lot more efficient and it's just better all round. So what I also need to do is make sure that my flashlight is off by default. So I search visibility like so.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Because it's straight up just a light. And then if this was on a prop, you just put a socket on it, because we've learned that. And then you put a... Actually, no, it would be a blueprint. Actually, no. No, you put a socket on it, I think. If you might be able to do it both ways. But I think the socket would be the best way. Maybe I'm wrong.
So, now if we compile and save this, what we see is if we to test this out, hold down F, our flashlight's on, release F, it's turned off again. So we now have our own input action mapping fully set.
Wait, it's not working. Oh, did I? Oh. I oopsie poopsie.
Set up is if like so.
Okay.
And we can do a lot more stuff. It's a lot more efficient and it's just better all round. So what I also need to do is make sure that my flashlight is off by default. So I search visibility like so.
Ah. That is so crazy how... Oh. Oh. Oh, that... Okay. Oh. Now. Whoa. Whoa. We've never done this before, so I don't know how fluent and how responsive it would feel. But like, no joke, this is like instant. Like that feels really smooth. That's nice. And oh man, Unreal's so nice. It's so nice. Unity has same stuff most likely as well, but Jesus Christ. At least knowing this stuff from Unreal hands, like from, you know, actually with hands-on experience. Wow.
So, now if we compile and save this, what we see is if we to test this out, hold down F, our flashlight's on, release F, it's turned off again. So we now have our own input action mapping.
Oh, he's going to do it or
fully
no?
set up and working, so we have our flashlight system.
Because I want to test something.
So I think that'll be it for this video, as we've done everything we want to do.
Oh.
What we've done is we've gone over setting up our own input action mappings and our mapping context for the new enhanced input mapping system with Unreal Engine 5.1 and later. And doing this, we've just created a very basic flashlight system just to turn it on and off, but we've just done that to show how the input actions now work. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Nice! Another shout out to Matt, letting us in the know. But yeah, wait, he was just talking about, okay, so, yeah, right? So hold down. If this was a door, if I F left click, no, it gives me a for each loop? What the heck? Not a flip-flop? That's weird. Oh, no, wait. Oh, actually, okay. Copy paste. Copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Copy paste, copy paste. Boom. Now, if I press F, aha, look at this. Yes. So, whoa, sweaties, that's actually nuts.
Yep. What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, and today I'm gonna show you on how to make a hold interaction with a key. We're gonna be using the new enhanced input system on the 5.1, so let's get started. It's gonna be a very easy video to follow. But first, check out the link in the description to get some Unreal Engine courses.
Yeah, chats out.
So the first thing that we have to do is go and create the new input key. So let's go ahead into third person, and you will see that in input we have a folder called actions. And now we can go ahead and store all of our actions here. Now, of course, if you're using any other template, you can use your own one. Let's go ahead and
I see, so we're already getting into the default stuff, because last time we just learned how to make our own without having to interact with this stuff, but this is stuff that we did see, I'm pretty sure. Or actually, did we see? Yeah, because it's IA, flashlight jump, and then we call it IA. Yeah.
Right click, go into input, create a new input action. So normally we call this EA because it's like the prefix. Now I do have a tutorial on how to get started with the new enhanced input system, so I will be linking in the description. So now what we want to do is just put, for example, I don't know, interact, right? You can call it whatever you want for what you want.
I'll put it interact.
Go ahead and double click it on him. In here I will actually not assign the key. We'll do that later on in a thing called the collection. Now there's a few things that we have to change over here. First of all, make sure that, of course, consume input is on. This is just pretty much enabling the input, and then you can
so consume enabling the input. That's what consume input means. It'd be nice if that was like the actual like description words and stuff like that.
So when the game is pause or whatever, you can also interact with it. This depending on what you do. And then there's a few things that we don't have to touch. Like, for example, we want to leave the value type to be a bool, basically on or off. Now in triggers is the thing that we're gonna change. So let's go ahead and add a new trigger. And now you will see that we have a whole list of different trigger options created for us. Now the one that we want to use is hold. Now you have many other
hold
things,
and release.
Right? Now there's also hold and release, where you need to hold it and then release it. So that's when it will trigger. But what I'm going to do is just say, hey, once you hold it for 1 second or whatever we say, then it will go ahead and trigger it. So let's go ahead and enter that.
Okay.
And here you can change the time that it will need to hold. So now with that said, we can go ahead and save. And now we
is one shot. Interesting.
To go back into the collection. So here,
the collection. So IMC default, which we did see, but we used IM_game for all of the last time's interaction stuff.
here's basically where we got all of the inputs in here, and with this assign key. So we just have to add a new one, and then find the
so new one. These are the default ones.
Interact one that we have just grabbed. Then we can just press this button over here and then press the key that we want to.
Because we got F interacted
or you can just
with the flashlight.
And you can just put whatever you want here. Now you also have the option to override and put more triggers and modifiers here, but I do recommend doing so inside the proper input action.
Really?
Right, so now we can go ahead and and close.
That's
now if
interesting.
we go into the third person character blueprint or whatever character blueprint you're using, now make sure
blueprint.
that of course you are adding the mapping into the blueprint so you can use the inputs. We're gonna find space over here and we want to use the EA.
Yeah, the mapping's already in, and this is the flashlight mapping.
_interact. It's gonna be the first one, the enhanced action events, the one with the arrow basically. Now we have a lot of different options, trigger, starter, etc. So the one that we want to basically use our things on.
Actually, hold up. Let me do this. Flashlight logic. Oh, hold up. Enhanced input actions logic. Yes. And then here we go. Actually, I want to move this up just a little bit.
If I'm expressing correctly, it's gonna be on trigger. So of course, triggered is gonna be
triggered on hold
when we are pressing.
Oh, when we're holding, right? So on hold. So that's why it's got to be like that. Okay.
And the timer went from that threshold. So we go ahead and put, for example, print string. After 1 second of just holding it, it will print. Now, starter is basically when you start.
Yeah, after 1 second, right? Because we have it as 1 second. If we didn't have this hold, it would be instant.
Pressing the key, ongoing, cancelled. There are a few different things, and then completed when you stop holding the key.
Oh, holding the key for seconds.
More detail on this in my beginner tutorial. Now, if I go.
Which we might check that out because we only went a little bit in. This is because I also see that he's got stuff in his project, but that looks more advanced than the last video that we checked out. His stuff looks like that's like the intermediate tutorial to this stuff. Hey, we already did the beginner.
Go ahead and press play. You can see that when I press T, and right now holding it, nothing's happening. But now that a second happened, you can see all of the
hold. Yeah, there we go.
Now, the thing is that I am still holding the key. So if I
let go
ahead and release it, it will go. Now,
it did take a second to do that, but it spams so much, that's why.
Spamming the key, even though you're still holding it, but we don't want that. We don't want that. If you're still holding it, it will continue doing so. So what we want to do is go back into here, input action. We want to do into the interact, and now we have this.
Wow, this is actually pretty nuts. Hold up, because this folder here, inputs. I did see this. I did accidentally get in here a few times, and also like one time, like look in, like, oh, what's this stuff? But now I know what this is. At least for me, probably because I mess with already the axis input input mappings and the action input mappings, so I'm already a little bit familiar. But this is actually so much better. Now it's a little unfortunate they gotta make like 2 things, which is the input actions and then the actual controller to that stuff. Which I love the icons because it helps you so much for that, but I feel like that, for what it gives you later, which is all the extra stuff, 100% worth it.
Option, which is one shot, which is exactly what we want. It's just basically once it is triggered, it will stop. So now when I press play, you can see that I can.
I even said something about that too.
And then it will print it only once. So go ahead and quickly use.
Also flashlight.
Simple interface. Let's go ahead and go into user interface, widget blueprint, WB.
Wait. Oh, widget blueprint. Okay, so assets _ widgets _ widget blueprint
_ interacting. And the thing that we're going to do is go ahead and find a canvas in the palette. We can go ahead and drag it. Now we can drag things on here.
Canvas
so
panel.
What we want to do is just get a text on the center of the screen, and what we want to do is
boom.
Just put everything
Control
to 0.
Shift to left click.
Right, except the size here.
You put it in the middle.
To put like 120, something like that.
Now I do want to probably push it down a little bit.
0.5, and then 0.5, so we perfectly in the middle. A bit bigger. And
but I'll see what he's going to do though.
On interacting. Dot dot dot.
Oh.
Wait. Dot dot dot. There we go.
Acting.
Yeah, simple. You know, of course you can change it to be like a progress bar that fills up, but this is just a quick example. And now what we can do is go into the third-person blueprint, and on started, we can go ahead and create this widget.
Oh, I was like, why is that not saving? On started.
So when we start pressing the key, so there's gonna be the interacting, and now we can go ahead and basically add it into the viewport. And now I think that we have to do first is right-click, promote to variable. It's gonna be the
right-click, promote to variable.
Interacting UI. So we need to have a reference to it because we have to basically delete it later.
Or we could unparent it, right? Is that what he's talking about? So this is a different way of doing that. So the way that we did it, I feel like is a little bit better. The other door, or like not door, with the flashlight, right? Because we unparented. Hold up, I want to check that real quick. Wait, where is that? No, where did we do that? Wait, where did we do that? Did we do that? Or was that for something different? I don't know, I can't remember. I'll just do this. This is introducing a concept I've been thinking about for my game. Ooh, nice!
So now that we have all this uncompleted, we can just get the interacting UI and basically right-click and convert it.
Interacting UI. Oh.
To validate it again. So basically, just in case it didn't create properly, whatever, it will not give us an error. So
okay, maybe this is why we're doing it like this?
If it does exist, we will go ahead and just remove from parent, which is here. And then set this variable to be false. Basically, it's just deleting the widget.
Okay.
So now,
and setting to false just means empty.
When I go here and press play,
because it's going to set it to empty, which is none.
Now when I hold T, you see interacting, and then once it is released, now it says hello.
Yeah.
And of course, in here you do whatever you actually want. For example, instead of printing hello.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ooh, okay. So I see the trigger. So when started, do all that stuff, but when it's triggered, boom, do that goodies.
I just say jump, and the character will jump. So if I go here, hold T, interacting, and then it will jump. So, go ahead and put whatever you want here. If you're gonna open a chest, do so with an interface or whatever you need, etc. So that's it, guys. If you found this so useful and helpful, I would really appreciate you to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 tutorials, so go ahead and check them out. Join my Discord server and follow me in all my socials, such as Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, shats out.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. Yo, because he also said the progress bar and stuff like that. Again, shouts out to him. But, like, how would that feel like something like that, right? A progress bar. So you would have to create a binding? Or, will we animate it? Would an animation work? Because do I remember us doing... No, we did something different, but I see it right here. Oh, did I just figure it out? I did, I think. Boom. Wait, why is that so fast? Because it's going to be for a second. What's a second here? These are milliseconds? Right? It's a second, so it's... Also, I could spam this and it overlays. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. So if I hold... Okay, I can't tell because it's bugging out. Hold. Hold. Oh, 1. 1. 1. 1. Okay, so that's like the... 1. Yeah, so it'd be 1. I'll try it. 1. 1. Yeah. So then... R... It's an animation, so I guess I would understand it's an animation? I'm going to have to create a... So I need to create a variable for the widget, right? Because I need to get the progress bar. Or I need to get its animation, which the only way I can is by calling thing. It's not compatible with the animation object reference. Crap. This bothers me that I'm like right around this. It's always like that too. Interaction fill. Play animation. Wait, so on start, so this would be like right here? Or would it be after? Guess we'll find out. Oh, this is messy. Play animation forward? Uh-oh. What's wrong with this? The blueprint self is not a user widget, therefore... Oh, target self. Oh, target, widget reference? No. This might not work like this. But I feel like I got even closer to figuring this out. Wait, is this the same thing? There is. Wait, what? Okay, so wait. Access none while trying to read property. Accessed none. Accessed none. Bruh, can I just do it like this then? Play animation. Custom events. Play progress animation. And then I'm just gonna do this for a second. Bolts. That doesn't matter, that's up here. Actually, this might get bothered. And then, I completely forgot what I did. No, it was. So I got to... Wait, what? Oh. Frog. Is it because I play... Wait, what? How do I do that, then? Do we need to notify on the animation? Animation. Play progress. Okay, so do I have to... Yeah, so I do got to do it like that. Kind of a funny way of doing this. No. Oh, okay. Wait, where? Access none while trying to read property. Accessed none. Why is it not? It's not being able to access it. So press E. Accessed none. target is self. Or maybe target is progress bar? No. Play animation because it's using this. Maybe it's a play animation forward? But it's like not getting it though. That's the issue. Why? Pre-animate say when animation stops. Okay, that's weird. Wait, what? Target is self. Animation, Does it call from nothing like this? But is it because like this? But no. Would it? Oh! Hold up. We got it to do that, but the hold is not working. Wait, what? Did it just work like that? It's already doing it because it triggers it. So when it's triggered... I let go. Hold. It stays. Wait, hold up. But I glitched out in the front. Because if I let go in the middle, it does that. Hold. Oh, there we go. It works. It works. But it just bugs out with the initial bug. Oh, we figured it out. Let's go. Then you... Okay, so if you want to slow this down, you have to slow the IMC. Because the animation... Well, you can slow down the playback speed, which can slow down the animation if you want, but it's not going to matter because it's still going to go away at the same time. So if you want it to actually fully time up, then you would want to do that while this kind of still takes a second. So this would be like 2 seconds maybe.